Hello, everybody. Welcome to another XGR.
In the morning.
Today, I am joined, or today, with us is Saberwolf, Jago, and Glacius, otherwise known as Chris, aka the Mole,
And hello.
the Fallen Angel,
Yellow.
and myself, the stay-at-home dad gamer. So, just let it happen. It'll be over soon, and let's get into the Xbox One conference at E3.
Before we went into this, we should say, because of the previous video, the Crispy was unable to attend for we don't know why, and we also lost Stacy for some reason. So yeah, we're down a member, and we ended up having to. I was about to say scrape the bottom of the barrel. That just sounded like I was really insulting Kage. I didn't mean that. I meant we then had to bump Kage from other to Xbox, and we'll probably bump Crispy down to other. Yeah.
All right. So
Behind the scenes shit.
Yeah. Don't look behind the curtain. First off, let's start with the system itself, the Xbox One. And Chris, would you like to go with your any pros you might have had?
Pro. Okay. Okay. I do like the. There's two pros with the system.
Mm-hmm.
Dedicated servers for multiplayer. I like that idea. It'll improve online multiplayer dramatically, and will probably mean Xbox will have the best online multiplayer servers. I don't know how you guys feel about.
It's a good idea, I think. I don't think it'll hurt them. I'll put it that way.
Yeah. How about you, Kage?
It'd be a good thing, I suppose.
Okay. And the second one, which it's also a negative, kind of, but I will go into the negative sections. The pro part of this is the pro part of the always online DRM.
Mm-hmm.
You're not thinking, wait, he's got a pro to that? The cloud gaming system does sound cool in the idea that it downloads your games, saves them to the system's cloud thing. Therefore, essentially speaking, if you've got, like me, a stack of games or whatever, you don't have to put each one in the console. You should, in theory, if I'm understanding this correctly, be able to sit down and say, hey, look, you've downloaded the entire disc to the cloud-based system on my account. I'm on my account. Fuck it, let's just play the game without having to swap discs and shit.
Mm.
Which I see as a plus. Especially for someone like you, Rick, that has kids and stuff. And you know what it's like if you've got kids in your house. It's amazing how many ways they find to get like jam in random spots and stuff.
Yeah.
Especially and discs and stuff. It's like, oh. That's why I have a rule with my consoles that no one's allowed to touch the discs when I put them in, except for me.
Yeah. Yeah, I do that too. It's like my son's like, "Can I turn it on?" I'm like, "No." Like, you sit there.
Yeah. But Daddy, all I have to do is say Xbox on. No, you're not allowed. Xbox on.
It's like, "Hello, little girl."
Was that just you communicating to the people on Xbox Live?
No, that'd be like, "Hello, angry 13-year-old."
Hello, little girl. Come with me. I have exclusive achievement. But no, they were my two pros.
All right. Fallen Angel, do you have any pros for the Xbox One?
System pros. Oh, it's riddled with shit. That's
Pro.
um.
I think pros is a different word in Australia.
Southern Hemisphere version. It's
Well, I haven't paid so much attention to the Xbox because it's Xbox, and I stay away from Xbox. But I definitely do have to agree with the whole the freaking cloud thing that you were on about. It definitely looks like it's going to be something that could be good if done correctly. There was something else. What was I having a look at? The Xbox Smart Glass.
Mm.
The smart glass doesn't look too bad either, because I noticed it when they were showing off their new game, Rise, Son of Rome, and that looked really interesting when they were using that.
Yeah. I will also say, if we're going pros as well, Victor,
Mm-hmm.
one thing I forgot to mention, because while I personally don't like this one, I know other people do, and it's cool. It's cool if you do. The control pad layout is pretty much it's the same control pad pretty much, which that works. I mean, I remember when the PlayStation 3 got announced and it had that boomerang control pad, and I was like, yeah, I don't want to play with a boomerang. And then they brought back the DualShock layout and stuff. And you know what I mean? It's like,
Yeah.
I prefer that layout for the control pad to PS3 one, but it's one of those. If you prefer the Xbox one, you're going to be the same way. If you've now got the control pad you prefer, they haven't dramatically altered it, which that's always a plus.
Yeah, that's my first pro. Is I actually really like the controller, because it just looks really nice to me, and the sticks look a little higher, which might make aiming a little easier, and they have force feedback in the triggers, which actually would, I mean, granted I'll turn it off to save battery power, but I think that's pretty cool.
That does sound cool. The only problem I have with that is, don't they use magnets?
Do they?
Apparently they use magnets or something in the triggers to do the force thing, which sounds awesome. My only thing with that is, if it's magnets, won't they wear out faster?
They might.
Because they'll lose their, I was about to say, magnet stickiness.
Yeah.
Insert scientific mumbo jumbo word here for magnet sticky.
Well, you can remagnetize magnets, but it would take,
you can remagnetize maggots.
Yeah, if you electrocute them, a maggot is just just stick to metal. You can remagnetize them. So, although it'd probably have to take the controller apart to do that.
I'm sure there's probably some people watching it or listening to this who are techno geeks or whatever, and they'll be like, "Wait, magnet sticky? Magnetized magnets? Are you people high?"
But the other pro, I don't know if it was specific. I don't think it was specifically addressed during their conference, but with the even though they have the restrictive DRM thing and all that, I like that there's you can designate family members that can also play your game, which alleviated my biggest gripe / fear, was that if I buy like a digital version of something, which we'll probably mention in the game section, but and then if my son wants to play it, like, does he have to play on my profile? I didn't want that. So I like that you can designate people. And if I understand it properly, you of the 10 people you designate, any one of them can be playing at a time at the same time you are, which is kind of cool. So, like, I mean, if 2 people tried to log on that were not you, I mean, it would kind of suck. But at the same time, they're technically borrowing something. So it seems like there might be ways around their little DRM stuff.
But from what I've read with that, I think you dedicate people to use your Xbox account. Therefore, they're going to have your account anyway, which I wouldn't want my friends to have my account. But for something like your son, I could understand it. Yeah, he's your son.
Yeah, and also supposedly gold is supposed to extend a similar way. I mean, I don't want my kid playing online yet, but I know that there are people that don't want to buy like the like 3 different Xbox Live Golds just for their family.
Oh, come on. There's probably people listening to this who are like, oh, come on, get your son online. I mean, they've heard you talk about him enough that they're waiting for the introduction of the little knee hammer.
Wow.
Yes. Well, that's why I now refer to your son as the knee hammer. He's a little hammer.
Yeah, all the interesting musings of a 6-year-old. So we will move on to the cons. We will try to keep this section short, but no promises. Fallen Angel, would you like to go first?
The entire console.
That was the most concise anyone has been in any XGR ever.
Yep.
Yeah, I think overall it was pretty. Yeah, the way that the guys from Sony just hammered at it during their conference. It does have its good points, of course, but overall it's looking pretty crap.
Yep.
Mole? Your cons?
Okay, where to begin? No, I'm not going to go too long, I hope. The always online thing where you have to log in every 24 hours is bullshit. Because, once if you're one of those people that just play single player games and stuff like that, and your internet goes out for like a week, you're not actually going to be able to actually play your games, which is kind of bullshit. Number two, the used games thing. Hated that. Hate the fact that they're trying to get rid of used games and forcing people to pay a fee every time they buy a used game. No, it's stupid. Did not like them. They're my two biggest cons with that. My third one would probably be the forced Connect thing, where you need Connect on all the time.
Mm.
We see you
yeah.
even when you sleep.
Well, then they can sell the Connect blocker, which will just be a piece of black cloth you put over it. And it'll retail for $39.99.
A black piece of black cloth with a red ring on it.
Yeah.
That goes over the eye. And ironically, I was not making a red ring of death joke with that. It was meant to be a Lord of the Rings joke with the big red eye that always watches you. But then once I said it, I was like, wait, this seems like a red ring of death joke.
Yeah, they'll make it look like Hal. For me, my cons, definitely the price. I think it's a fair price, but it's definitely high, and I know I'm not going to be able to get that. And with the 24-hour check-in and that stuff, I really worry about the long-term viability of game purchases, because they said later, someone directly asked them, like, oh, what about in like 10 years when they shut the servers down? And they're like, oh no, we can turn that kind of stuff off. And it's like, well, you should say that. That's important. But my last small con is that they are doing away with Microsoft points. Now, that's good in some respects, but honestly, it was a lot easier to get discounts and cheap point cards than it was to get like PSN point cards. I think the best sale I ever saw on a PSN point card was like $2 off, like 10% or 10%, where Microsoft points I've routinely gotten like 50% off, and then they had that crazy almost fire sale where you could get them for like 66% off.
I will say there's the opposite to that.
Mm-hmm.
To flip that con into a pro.
Mm-hmm.
From what Microsoft have said, and they don't fully understand what they were saying, they wanted to try and go for more like a Steam marketplace, which means they're going to be constantly doing massive sales and shit if it works out well enough.
Well, no, it's to me, it's not the price that I'm talking about. It's the price of actually buying the point cards. I mean, they still have sales, but
I know, but I was just saying, if you buy you buy the card and you save like, I don't know, $5, $10 or something like that on the card, in overall in terms of the sale, you may save $20 to $30 with them doing bigger sales.
Yeah, but as a long time Xbox user, their sales tend not to be that great. If they do it like Steam, where they have deep discounts, I'll totally take that, because I don't really PC game much, but Steam has had some ridiculously good sales. Like, I've just perused them, like, and like if they do stuff like that, then I'm okay with Microsoft points going away. If I, don't get it 50% off, but I just straight up buy the game for like 90% off, okay, I'll take that.
Yep. And the other thing with what you mentioned is when you mentioned they have the ability to turn that stuff off, like the check-in and stuff.
So, well, they said it's flexible.
Yeah, it's flexible, which means they have the ability to turn it off. I saw the same thing.
Yeah.
That's why like I mentioned to you earlier, I said this before I read that, but like I said, if they dropped that and maybe got rid of something like the used games thing, their console would sell faster.
Yeah.
Because right now they're experiencing a lot of negative feedback from gamers, and I don't know if it's gonna. I think it's gonna seriously impact them, because, like, right now, for example, on Amazon, they're selling PS4s 18 to 1 Xbox One. Oh, can I also mention another con?
Sure.
Unless this was one of yours.
Mm-hmm.
The name.
Yeah. But didn't we? Yeah. I guess I remember we discussed it during the the reveal thing, but yeah, definitely that can go here.
Yeah.
And for games on the Xbox One, any pros, Mole?
Okay. I have three pros. I liked three games they showed off, kind of. One was Project Spark, which I believe the Fallen Angel enjoys this one as well.
Yeah. It was really interesting to see how they could just create a world just by clicking a few buttons.
I believe that's how every video game world ever is created.
Wow.
Oh no, but I mean like by the person themselves, like the
I
gameplay.
I agree. That's one of the reasons I like that. Like before we did this when we were shooting the shit with Richter before. Like he said, it's sort of like Mod Nation Racers on the PS3 meets Little Big Planet in terms of creativity, not in terms of gameplay. It is its own thing. I'm not calling it a rip off of that. But that's one of the things I really love creative games like where you can just go in there and just create shit for ages. Like one of my favorite games of all time to play is like The Sims, where I can sit down, I can make my sim, I can decorate my house, and I can just create shit. I love the Little Big Planet series, so yeah, the Project Spark game to me looks very viable, and it looks like this is something interesting, and at the same time, it's bright and colourful. It's like I mentioned in the PS3 conference, available now if you want to check that out on the XGR. I didn't like how most of the Xbox and PS3 games looked the same.
Yeah.
They look like the same races, the same shooters. This looked different, and it's like it catches your attention. My second one, which I believe Richter would like to probably discuss more of with this game, as a plus, Dead Rising 3.
Mm. Yeah, it looked pretty cool. I was, I mean, they had a new protagonist, which I still like my Frank, so. But the game looked kind of cool.
I prefer Frank 2. Hence why I say Dead Rising 2 off the record is the best Dead Rising 2 of all time.
Yeah.
But I'm a fan of the Dead Rising series, I'll admit that. And it's cool. I wish it wasn't. That's the only game I'm going to say. That and Project Spark, the only two I'm going to say I wish weren't exclusives. Because I'd be honest, if they won PS4, I'd buy them.
Yeah.
How about you, Fallen Angel? Anything on Dead Rising 3?
Not really, no.
Fair enough. My third one wasn't really shown off at the conference, but it was shown off at E3 and they mentioned it. And you're probably going to just be like, wait, that was the surprise game you went about? But they're porting to the they're making a new game for the 360 based on a classic PC game which has almost died out, which I'm a big fan of. Zoo Tycoon.
Really?
Yeah, and they got like new animals and new interactions and stuff you can do, and you build your zoo and you can walk around. That made it more sociable, so you can go and visit your friends' zoos and stuff. So it's kind of cool. I like Zoo Tycoon. So yeah, they're my three.
Did you have any to add, Fallen Angel?
It'd be interesting to see that Zoo Tycoon on Xbox, because I've played that on the PC freaking years ago.
Did you play Zoo Tycoon 2 Dinosaur Edition?
I believe I did, but I think it was only a demo.
That was everything Jurassic Park Operation I was about to say Operation Overdrive. Operation whatever the hell it was called on PS2 should have been, where it was like a Jurassic Park Zoo Tycoon. But I think Richter was asking you any other pro games you would like to list.
Pro games other than Project Spark.
Yeah,
I'm gonna have to say Rise, Son of Rome. That looked pretty fucking good.
I forgot one.
Oh.
Yeah.
I can wait.
Yeah. So basically, in the game, you take on the role of a Roman general, Marius Titus, and you get to find out what it's like to both fight as a warrior and command as a leader of men in the Roman Empire. The little trailer or gameplay they gave us from the conference it actually looked really interesting. All the mechanics looked really well done, and all the blood, just the blood. The blood went everywhere. You fight against your own kind of people, other Romans and Greeks and such.
What do you mean, my own kind of people? You racist.
And then you get to fight also against the barbarians.
Nice. Led by Conan.
Yeah. So basically, the gameplay they gave us was Marius and his troops were supposed to take out a catapult that was destroying their ships. Since obviously they were trying to invade, and you also got to see one of the team mechanics. So they approached a flag, I suppose, that was their banner. And when your character is apparently near this, you can team up. So you have your warriors surround you, and you can move forward and like you can take your turtle formation and block off all the arrows from the incoming enemy, and you can then launch your spears as a group. It doesn't look too bad, and I'd probably look at an Xbox One just for Project Spark and Rise of Rome.
Nice.
Rise of Rome.
Yeah, Rise did look pretty cool. The one thing I liked real quick was that I felt it, was kind of inspired by God of War. But one thing I liked was that you had the finishing moves like it, but I liked that there were multiple like you could get two people in the down state, and he did a separate animation where he would kill both in one quick time event, which I thought was really cool.
Nice. Wait, yeah, like I said, there was one I forgot.
Mm-hmm.
I'm just gonna say one sentence, and you'll know which one I'm on about. Combo breaker.
Yeah, I was gonna talk about that one too.
Okay, then you can take that one away, and then we can go back onto your pros.
Okay. Yeah. After I think it was an 18-year absence, we're finally getting a Killer Instinct game again.
Yep. It combo broke its absence. Okay, I'm not gonna stop doing that.
Whenever in the next one Stacy's in, if you ever interrupt her, you should start with that. Just go combo breaker. She'll be like, "What the hell?" Anyway.
See, I will say, when the Fallen Angel was talking about Mario or whatever the hell his name was, I was tempted to say no, we're saving that for the Nintendo conference. But I figured it's a horrible enough fun.
But yeah, the Killer Instinct looked cool. It looked very flashy. There were lots of particle effects and looked really fast. And Glacius was my character back in the day, and I think his redesign actually looks fine. Where Jago's a bit. When I read why they designed Jago the way they did, it made perfect sense, and it's a good design. But like just seeing it, you're like, I don't know, it's kind of weird to me.
You're not allowed to say particle. Based on all of the scientific stuff we mentioned before,
okay,
like magnet sticky, you have to say a glowy
thingy
stuff. Yeah, glowy blinky.
We're all over the TV.
The who's it?
The TV universe.
The who's it?
Yeah, there were thingies all over the other thingy.
And if you're listening to this because you weren't here to record, this is what happens when you're not here, geeky girl. We don't have a geeky tech person to start talking about the stuff, so we go from particles to glowy, blinky things all over the who's it's.
But for even though the team or the company making Killer Instinct has kind of a spotty record, I think that they have some of the stuff they talked about actually, like why they're designing things the way they do, actually kind of gives me hope that it'll be decent. Another game that they showed a trailer for, which I would like to have seen gameplay, was Sunset Overdrive. And I don't know if it's probably a shooter. I just don't know if it's first or third person. But with the weapons that they showed, it kind of looked like Dead Rising.
It's fourth person because Kinect will take video of you and you're watching yourself playing the game.
Whoa, that's like Kinectception. But but with the weapons, it looked kind of like it had some Dead Rising influence. Like the one guy, what did he strap like soda onto his shotgun and shot a giant bomb, and the one guy had a record launcher. The other thing that they showed that I was personally a fan of, even though they don't have to show gameplay, was that they are porting Minecraft to the Xbox One. Now, I am hoping that I won't have to, if I want it on the system, purchase it again. I'm pretty sure I will have to. And that ties in with the, thankfully we can designate family members as being able to have the game, because, good lord, my son plays that way too much. He loves that game on Xbox.
See, I will say I see both pros and cons with the Minecraft games.
Mm-hmm.
I see a lot of people like PC elitists bitching that it's on Xbox
Of course.
because they say it should only be on PC because it's designed for mods and stuff like that. And I'm like, I can see that point. However, on the Xbox console, I also saw they added local multiplayer with split screen and stuff, which that adds a new element, and that's something cool. I do support local multiplayer, so I'd support that game.
Yeah, the local multiplayer, even though it's HD only, is still pretty fun.
What's wrong with HD?
Well, no, just like it's not a problem for me, but some people, they had SD TVs and they couldn't play multiplayer, and they were crazy angry about it. I don't know, but I'm hoping that, because one of the problems with the Xbox 360 version is that because the 360 itself doesn't have the memory or processing power of the PC, that the world map's more limited, and sometimes there's lots of pop in while it's loading stuff, even though it's those kind of graphics. But I'm hoping on the Xbox One that I'm hoping it's at least a bigger world. It doesn't have to be infinite like the PC one. I'm okay with that. But I think the expanded memory and stuff will make it a better experience, which will be awesome. And
I can agree with that.
Yeah. And so, not every game can be a winner. What what games did you think were maybe cons for the system? Fallen Angel.
Cons for the system?
Yeah, like any games you didn't like, or...
Not really. I didn't see much of the full conference.
Right.
I watched bits and pieces afterwards, just to have a look at some of the games.
Right.
So I didn't really see anything bad. If I were to pick one, what would I?
Pick Minecraft to troll him.
Oh, with Jim's comment
no,
of it looks the same.
There's not really anything that I. Yeah. The only bad thing, I don't know.
Oh yeah, I remember that during the Sony one.
Yeah.
When you mentioned Minecraft, and he's like, "But it looks the same on the 360 as it does on the Xbox One as it does on the 360." I mean, those graphics are pretty bad, and I'm like,
Yeah.
"Dude."
Yeah.
Another Halo game. We don't need any more of those.
Yeah.
I don't know. Forza Motorsport, maybe. Because I just hate car racing games because I can't play them. The graphics looked really good, but why do you need another car racing game? There's plenty of them.
Yeah, really.
And see, that would go into my negative one of, like I mentioned in the PlayStation, I won't go into it too much here, but as I mentioned in the PlayStation conference, it annoyed me with Xbox and PS and Sony's PlayStation 4 with the sheer amount of games that looked like each other. Like, PlayStation had shooters that looked like Xbox shooters, they had racing games that looked like the Xbox ones, there was no diversity there. It goes into this whole trend of let's just do the most bland, generic thing we can that sells. It's like Hollywood. When something is successful in Hollywood, like Bullet Time was in The Matrix, they milk the shit out of it.
Yes.
Without actually trying to do something innovative and new. Whereas, I mean, it's like take the Xbox conference. Project Spark was probably their most creative, probably innovative, and just downright different game that they had to offer. Yeah, they showed a lot more. They showed a lot more focus on the shooters than they did on that.
Yeah,
Hmm.
yeah, that was kind of buried in there.
Yeah. Oh well.
Was that your only con then?
It's everything that looked the same. Yes.
Yeah. Okay. Mine, strangely enough, was that Quantum Break game, because at the reveal they showed like a half live action, half CG trailer, and then this one they showed like another CG trailer, and I was like, "Can you show anything of the game?" And apparently they talked to him, and this is kind of disappointing to me, but it's apparently like another shooter game. And I was like, "Oh," because in the trailer, it looked like he was trying to figure something out, so I thought maybe it was going to be some kind of more detective-y game, but I guess it's just a shooter where you can stop time, because they've never done that before.
Yep.
I mean, some of the
Well,
stuff sounds interesting with it, but just that core sounds kind of...
I will say, because I didn't mention it during the PlayStation conference, and we completely shattered our own rule that we came up with before the conference, not mentioning the other conferences. There was one pro thing for the PlayStation conference I kind of wanted to throw out there.
Oh, yeah?
That Dark Sorcery. I don't know what it is. I don't know how it plays. But my God, when that wizard broke the fourth wall and started to talk to us through the camera and stuff, I was suddenly interested. I was like, I want to know what this is.
Yeah, that was my problem, was that looked kind of cool, but I wanted to know more about it. I was like, what is... It's just, like, is it supposed to be funny? I don't understand.
Yeah, and it ends with "to be continued." So I'm like, wait,
Yeah.
what? Is this going to be like the PC game of the movies, but with wizards? Is this going to be like sorcery? Is this going to be like, I don't know, fucking
Maybe-
that Project Spark with wizards?
Maybe
I don't know.
instead of the movies, it's the games, where you make
Yeah.
games instead of movies.
That'd be awesome. I did like the movies. That was awesome. Pardon me, but I think we've covered it.
I think so, yeah. So we had a few pros and some big cons for the Xbox One E3 thing. Even though I will say, I guess, real quick, they did actually mention a couple of stuff for the 360, but I don't really think any of us care that much. I mean,
You might.
yeah, well, there's the free games for gold is kind of nice, but the 3 games they mentioned were pretty lackluster. So I was like, man.
Oh, there was one negative to do with that.
Oh, yeah.
It's not really to do with that. The offer itself is awesome. I'm not insulting the offer.
Mm-hmm.
We were told Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles Out of the Shadows would come out June 26th. We then get an advert from Xbox with the Summer of Games, where each month from
the
when
summer
they
version,
start it in August is a brand new game, and they showed Turtles Out of the Shadows. Like, wait, has it been pushed back just so Xbox can shove it into their Summer of Games or whatever the fuck it's called? Because I want Turtles Out of the Shadow, damn it.
All right, so I think we covered everything. That will do it for the Microsoft E3 conference and for XGR. And joining me today was special guest Fallen Angel
Mm-hmm.
and the Mole.
And I will say thank you, and hopefully people appreciate the fact we actually looked for pros. We didn't just follow the internet blindly into the hatred. We actually, I mean, you saw it. I tried to research as much as I could to find some decent pros. Which, it's funny because, like, the dedicated multiplayer got buried under the shit of negative stuff. I had to really fucking find their pros. They did a great job of sabotaging themselves by hiding their pros.
Yeah, definitely. I would agree with that. They kind of seem to go out of their way to hide the positive parts. I don't know. But I think a good lesson is you shouldn't follow the internet. And
Unless it's XGR.
That's true. Follow us on Twitter. But with us in spirit was Geeky Girl, and I was a stay-at-home dad gamer. Thank you for joining us with another XGR. Goodbye, everybody.
Since you said Geeky Girls with us in spirit, Animal Crossing, Pokemon, shoes.
Oh, that. Except for shoes, I was like, that's a really good preview for next podcast.